Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Lenny Williams. Welcome to the first episode, the pilot episode of Locks on Locks. This is a gambling show where we look for locks. We don't try to pick every game. We want to find the winners. We want to find those variances in the lines, those little mistakes that these bookmakers make that allow us to make us and you a lot of money. Now, we've been waiting for a good starting point to go ahead and get this kicked off, and we decided that the NFL playoff tournament was a good starting point for us to go ahead and get this little project started. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a weekly post where I handicap the NFL playoff games against the spread. We'll throw in a couple of little specials like a parlay pick, maybe a spike pick of the week, something like that, you know, if you're really feeling spicy. And we'll see how this goes. So I hope everybody can enjoy this and have fun with it, because we certainly are. And we're looking forward to picking some winners, making some money, making a lot of people happy. So glad you're along for the ride, and let's have some fun. So what I'd like to do is start out with some futures picks. And before I do that, I know what you guys are thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Lenny, what the hell are you doing in the garage? Well, the reason for that is picking a bunch of different spots to try to shoot these little snippets, see what works, what doesn't work, what looks good, what don't look good. So what better place to start than the garage to pick some futures picks? So NFC, AFC. In the NFC, for me, it's pretty simple. I see the New Orleans Saints coming out of the NFC. Last 4 Super Bowl winners have been a number 1 seed. So in honoring that trend, in order for that to happen, I would have to go ahead and go with the New Orleans Saints. I think that Drew Brees is one of the scariest quarterbacks to wager against in the NFL, especially when he plays at home. The guy just doesn't die. So in the NFC, I don't see anyone stopping the New Orleans Saints. I see the NFC Championship game actually being Chicago versus New Orleans. I think that New Orleans gets it done. In the AFC, kind of a little bit of a murkier picture. I went back and forth on this. There aren't a lot of very strong defenses in the AFC. San Diego's got one. Baltimore's got one. But I don't see anyone stopping the Kansas City Chiefs coming out of the AFC. The only hiccup that I see with Kansas City is that their defense is just terrible. It's awful. So barring any major defensive collapse, I see the AFC champion being the Kansas City Chiefs. Therefore, setting up a Kansas City versus New Orleans Super Bowl in Atlanta. I'm going to go ahead and make my Super Bowl winner the New Orleans Saints. I feel like Drew Brees just can't be stopped, won't be stopped this year. This year's his year. This game is where the Kansas City defense really gets exposed. I think that, the New Orleans defense is no Chicago D, but I feel like this will be a game, a Super Bowl, where the last team with the ball wins it. I think that team's going to be New Orleans. And I see Drew Brees throwing for 4 TDs in that game and winning the MVP. All right, folks, welcome back. So let's get things started with the first wild card game on Saturday, 4:35 Eastern Time. Houston Texans versus Indianapolis Colts. Houston is the home team. We're going to go ahead and I like Indianapolis here, +2. The reason for that is it seems that Andrew Luck really owns the Houston Texans when playing in Houston. The Colts have been on a pretty good run lately. I just don't think that Houston's pass defense can keep up with Andrew Luck and the offensive attack. They won their last game there that they played in Houston. It looks like the home team seems to suffer when these two play each other. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 points, take Indianapolis. That's your Locks on Locks bathroom pick. You wonder why I'm in the bathroom. I do a lot of thinking while I'm in the bathroom. No, I'm not actually using the bathroom right now, but you get the point. I'm just in here for motivational purposes. Thanks. All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 2 on Saturday is an NFC matchup, a classic NFC matchup, pitting the Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this might be the most entertaining game of the day out of the two. Teams that like to run the ball. One explosive quarterback and Russell Wilson, who is also another terrifying quarterback to bet against. But I'm going to go ahead and handicap this game. I like the Seattle Seahawks plus 2.5. I like for them to get it done on the road in Dallas. It's not because I hate Dallas, like most people do, and I definitely do hate Dallas. But I just think that Russell Wilson, I'm going with the quarterback matchup here. I think that Russell Wilson is just going to be too much of a problem for the Dallas defense. They're not going to be able to corral him like they're used to doing. I see, a big, heavy running game on both sides. I just think that the X factor will be Russell Wilson. He's got the playoff experience. He seems to be able to connect with his receivers at the most when he needs to the most. And I just don't see the Dallas defense being able to stop him and that running game and those opportunistic receivers. So I expect a close game. I like the 2.5 points that Seattle's getting. And I like them to go ahead and win it outright and advance in Dallas. Hey, folks. Welcome back. So the first game on Sunday is a really good matchup featuring the San Diego Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. This is an exciting matchup. I am very intrigued with the quarterback matchup here with the longtime wily veteran Philip Rivers facing off against the young upstart, exciting Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. Baltimore features the number 1 defense in the NFL with an outstanding secondary and outstanding overall defensive play, where the San Diego Chargers have that explosive offense with Philip Rivers. They like to run the ball. They like to throw the ball. They've been scoring a lot of points. They've been winning a lot of games. These two teams played recently in San Diego or LA. It was a home game, quote unquote, for them at a tiny StubHub Center, which seats about 75 people. But the Ravens were able to pull off a victory on the road, traveling out west, playing very well against that talented Los Angeles Chargers offense. And I'm going to go ahead and lay the points, lay the 2.5 with Baltimore, the favorite. I think that they can get it done on the road. I think that while defense wins championships, I don't see Baltimore winning the championship, but I definitely see them getting past San Diego. I see Philip Rivers getting frustrated, turning the ball over, and Lamar Jackson playing a careful enough game against San Diego to not lose. He'll be on the run a lot. They saw him, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, so they have some sort of an idea how to contain him, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see Baltimore losing at home in the wild card round. They will have to travel on the road, and that's probably going to be a problem for them, but I just don't see that defense giving up very much points, and I see Baltimore scoring just enough, probably winning by 3. This might be one of those half-point covers that you see sometimes in the playoffs with home favorites. And I look for the Baltimore Ravens to squeak out a close one against San Diego. All right, folks. Game number 4 on Wild Card Weekend features the Philadelphia Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions, visiting the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field on Sunday, 4:40 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a game that I think will be the blowout of the day, of the weekend. Actually, I don't see this game being very close at all. I see Chicago covering the 6 points that they're laying versus the Eagles. I just feel that the Eagles are they barely coasted into the playoffs. They're facing a Chicago Bears defense, which leads the league in turnover ratio, and I feel that that will be the theme of the game. I feel that the Eagles will struggle greatly to run the ball, pass the ball, struggle on special teams, struggle in all phases of the game. Nick Foles is going into the game with bruised ribs, so they're going to have to be very careful with him. Otherwise, the Eagles are going to have Nick Sudfeld on the field against that defense. I just see this game being a nightmare scenario for the Eagles. They haven't been sinking all year. They played well the last couple of games, but I feel like that's going to come to an end against a very, very strong defense playing at home in Chicago. I look for Nick Foles to turn over the ball once, at least once. I look for Zach Ertz to turn over the ball at least once via a fumble while trying to gain yards after catch, which he is not able to do with any consistency whatsoever. And I just feel that Chicago's the better team, the home team. They have momentum behind them. They've been playing well. They've got arrested players. The deficiencies that they have on offense with Mitch Trubisky aren't going to really play a big factor in this game, just because I feel like Chicago is going to score about at least one touchdown on defense, and they'll be able to control the pace of the game at home versus the Eagles in this game, advancing to the next round.
Who wants that power parlay pick this week? I do, Mr. Lenny. Okay, here we go. Let's go Indianapolis +2, under 48.5. Chicago -6, under 41. There you have it. Good Lord.
That about wraps it up, folks. Hey, thank you very much for spending the time with me today. We certainly do appreciate it. This is a new venture that we're putting together. Let's just see how it goes and see if the information is as accurate as I believe it to be, and if it's worth continuing. So remember, if you happen to like these videos, please click the thumbs up icon. Be sure to subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you'll know exactly when next week's video is available, so you're able to run down to the sports book, meet up with your bookie, however you do your business. And please leave a comment down below. I'm certainly interested in any comments, suggestions, thoughts, complaints, anything, whatever. Just say what you got to say, and I'll respond to you. And we'll see you next time.